Practices to encourage female enrollment. What steps can teachers and advisors take to challenge the status quo and advance gender equity in non-traditional CTE programs in schools? Here are some 6 evidence-based best practices to encourage female participation. Number 1. First and foremost, address explicit and implicit gender bias in yourself, your own school, and the wider culture. All forms of discrimination, including harassment, must be addressed promptly, especially in classrooms where female students are underrepresented and more likely to feel unwelcome. Confront your own unconscious biases. Studies show we all have potential blind spots and unconscious biases. Acknowledging our own potential biases is important so we can reduce any impact they may have and make better decisions. Create environments free of harassment and stereotypical attitudes. Challenge the gender myths, stereotypes, sexual harassment, and other school culture that undermine girls' participation in technical subjects. Ask yourself if actions are based on a student's occupational objective or interest and aptitude, and not on the basis of their sex. Raise awareness about bullying and discrimination. If you see something, say something. For example, boys will be boys is not acceptable. Provide a safe space to girls. Girls often need to be personally invited to explore certain career options or events. Giving a personal invitation to participate makes a difference in whether a girl participates in an after-school coding program, decides to join the robotics team, or adds computer science to her list of classes. Encourage growth mindset. Girls are harder on themselves when assessing their abilities in quote-unquote male fields like science and math. Research has shown that girls are particularly prone to seeing failure as a bad thing rather than an opportunity to try again, and that they consistently underestimate their own abilities and knowledge when compared to others. Number 2, materials and resources. Review your counseling and educational materials, both print and visuals, for gender-biased messaging about career and post-secondary options. Promote non-gender biased print materials, literature, and visuals. Ensure it is targeted to females appropriately. Use materials depicting diversity of individuals and occupations. Normalize STEM subjects and help our girls realize that they're not just relevant to them, but essential, that they're part of everyday life. Number 3, targeted recruitment. Develop a focused, yearly recruitment plan that targets girls for placement in CTE programs and schools. Increase female student exposure to non-traditional careers throughout the school year with events like career fairs, workshops, panel discussions, mentoring and sponsorships, hands-on activities and programs, job shadowing, career day conferences, or career exploration activities. For example, take a field trip to visit the workplaces of professional women in STEM careers. Number 4, role models. Provide access to role models as instructors or mentors. Introducing students to role models have had success in enrolling and retaining students in CTE focused on areas that are not traditional for their gender. Studies have shown that seeing other female peers and women, especially ones that look and sound like them, engaged in STEM careers is the number 1 way to interest girls in those careers. Number 5, parental engagement. Parents are the number 1 influence of student college majors and career choice. Especially for girls, engagement of parents is crucial. The occupational status, level of education, and expectations of young girls' mothers has a great impact on girls' career choices. Make parents feel invested by including them in activities where possible and showing them how important these skills are for their children's futures. Communicate to parents and caregivers how impactful their support is and encourage them to dispel negative myths and stereotypes. Number 6, community and employer partnerships. Maximize access to and interaction with public and private sector organizations and institutions interested in expanding girls' participation in STEM. Forge partnerships with employers. Promote the expansion of public and private collaborations with secondary and post-secondary programs to provide career pathways for students and support in-demand industries and occupations. To recap the steps, address explicit and implicit gender bias in yourself, review your materials and resources, develop a recruitment plan, provide access to role models, engage and communicate with parents, and maximize access to the community and employer partnerships. Thank you for working to advance gender equity in non-traditional CTE programs in schools.